Oh shit, here we go. Woo. Hello and welcome to the Tony Gomez Show.
Morning, y'all.
All right, man. Hopefully we get some people to join us over here tonight, because it's always so much better when we get a group interacting with us and stuff, you know. And I gotta let everybody know who we have in the studio tonight. We have GratitudeTx in the house.
Yo.
Hell yeah, man. I tell you, I feel like I'm late to the show because I've seen you guys' names on flyers left and right, grinding over the past several years. And, you know, to tell you the truth, I really don't get out too much besides doing my own shows. It kind of happens, you know. I've got a couple of kids. I've even got a grandson already, and I juggle 3 bands, and I'm even writing music for Annihilator and shit. So I got a lot going on, but still no excuse, man. I'm so late to the game, man. When I started hearing you guys on Spotify, I was like, holy shit, because I'm a big fan of hardcore, and your riffs, Ramon, they fucking go hard, bro. They go hard. And Noah, you seem so mild-mannered considering what I've seen, like in the Believer video, and you getting all excited, man, in like, say, for instance, the Surface video, man. You go off, bro. I love it.
It's pent up.
You know what I dig too is I'm a huge fan of Jamie Josta from Hatebreed, and I hear some of that Jamie Josta in your voice, man. Whether you're trying or not, man, I just like, oh, I love that kind of shit. And it just makes me even gravitate and love the music that much more with that kind of flavor in there. Even if without you trying, just that your own hardcore style really just is awesome. And it makes a great fucking mix with everybody together. So incredible, man. So let me go ahead and get the show started, man. Real quick, I want to introduce everybody. We got Linda on bass to the left, Ramon on guitars right in the middle, and Noah on vocals on the right. And we might even get a special guest visit from Adan Pena, who's on the clock right now over at Rich's. And God willing, Adan, if you're watching the show, just chime in. Even if you just let it.
Tap in.
Just get in. Get the fuck in. I don't think Richard will mind. It's all good. But yeah, let's get the show on the road. So, you know, what I like to get started on, I kind of like to find out, you know, what kind of got you guys inspired into picking up your axes, your microphone. So let me start off to the left. Linda, what got you inspired to pick up the bass?
Me? Oh man. I started off playing the cello. I did, right? I walked into music. I didn't know I was a metalhead until my brothers, they were nagging me. I got 2 younger brothers. And they wanted to start this Metallica cover band. But they're like, no, we need a good bassist. We know you could do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not into metal. No thanks. They nagged me for about a year until I finally got around to doing it. And I'm so thankful that I did it because I love metal. I love playing bass. So yeah, that was the inspiration, really. It was like a happy accident.
That's very cool. You know, it reminds me of that movie that came out not too long ago on Netflix, Metal Lords, where the girls fucking tears it up on the cello, dude, and they fucking start jamming. You know, he's on the kit. Woo! It's a cool movie. But I like that. I really like that, Linda. And how about you, Ramon? What got you started?
Oh man, so I'm kind of a man of all trades. I started playing drums first, went to bass, then kind of self-taught myself how to play guitar. Just kind of did all 3 for a while. Before joining Gratitude, I was actually a full-time bass player. I haven't played guitar in probably like 4 or 5 years, but at that point in time, I wasn't jamming with anybody, so I really just wanted to be in a band. I'm a bass player. You want me to play lead guitar? Okay. So when I joined the band, it was an easy transition, and as I progressed, so it was just really, for guitar, and if I go back to guitar, it was just from playing bass. I was like, I want to play guitar from what I learned off of bass, and so on and so forth.
Well, let me ask you about drums. I started out on drums myself,
Awesome.
And I still think I'm a pretty decent drummer. It's just that when I started getting into more of like death metal really a death metal, man, that doing the kicks as fast as back in the day when I started my first death metal band was in '91. It was called Malignancy. And that was right when the Florida death metal scene was breaking. So you had like a Deicide, Morbid Angel, and Obituary. Okay. And Deicide coming hard with some fucking sick double bass. But where I kind of got off the drums was I was playing in a New York hardcore kind of style band. We were called Fracture Minority back in '89 and '90. And we were doing like Sick of It All, Killing Time, Agnostic Front covers. And I was playing drums. But our singer, Arthur Layton, he got locked up for stealing a car. And so we had some shows booked, and I wrote all the lyrics. So I said, fuck it. I bought me a headset mic, and I started playing drums and singing at the same time. And it just like you said, whatever it needs, whatever the band needs, fuck it. I'll play it. If I need to pick up microphone and start singing too, well, then that's what we're going to do, because we're going to keep the show on the road. So I admire that, dude. That's awesome. So let me move on to Noah. Noah, what got you started on vocals?
So really what got me started on vocals, man, was I started off in like the church, and grandfather, mother's father, like he did a lot of the music stuff, and that I guess they found me a little simple little gospel song and started singing in front of people when I was like 4 or 6, something like that. And then I was a choir nerd throughout school, and you know, somewhere along the lines between like middle and high school, I stumbled across like heavier rock and metal, and I really got into like metalcore. And then whenever I went to music school, I found hardcore. So found hardcore and just kind of kept on bouncing between hardcore and metalcore throughout the years. And this band has sort of been a vision of mine to get into motion since I was like 14, and here I am at 32, man, and it's been a really, really fun ride. And so it's just been sort of that progression over the years, just things getting the wheels rolling.
That kicks ass, man. So around 14 is when you started getting into it, and here you are 32 and still fucking loving it. Let me ask you this. What vocalist do you kind of look up to?
Josh Scoggin.
Josh Scoggin. Who is he with?
So he started a band way back, I say that. In '98 called Ludacris. And Ludacris obviously got kind of mixed up with Luda, so they had to change their name to Norma Jean. And because of some artistic differences with Josh Scoggin and Norma Jean, he parted off with Norma Jean and started the Chariot.
Oh, shit.
And from there, the bass player of the Chariot decided he wanted to go out and kind of do his own thing. And the Chariot kind of broke off. And now Josh Scoggin is the vocalist and guitarist of a 2-piece band called 68.
68. I'm telling you, there's another grinder right there. Vocals and guitar. Wow, man. Fucking cool. Very cool. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me ask you this. Going back to Linda. Linda, what was the first concert you went to?
Oh man, that's a fun story. So when I was a teenager, I was in that classical realm. You know, I wanted to be in the symphony, so I never went to concerts, never went to shows. If I did any show, it was my own performances. So I had gotten into Deftones, and I didn't know nothing about metal, right? I didn't know I was a metalhead, but man, I love the Deftones, and they had just dropped White Pony. It was summer of '99, right? The White Pony tour. So they stopped in San Antonio, went to go see them, got to meet Tony and Chino at the end of the show. And they're like, hey man, let's go party. And back then I did party. So I'm like, let's go. I've got a dime on me. Like, let's go. I was 15. And I think they thought I was older than what I was. So my ex at the time, he's like, she's a minor. And I'm like, shut up, dude. Like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Be quiet.
Yeah.
I went home like a good girl that night. That was my first concert, Deftones.
Badass. Damn, on the White Pony tour. Damn, I missed that one.
And like they play everything. I thought it was just going to be the White Pony, but it was around the fur, and I was like losing my mind. I'm like, oh my god! I got 2 ticket stubs signed.
Yeah.
So I turned around and I had to sell my CD collection, so I like bundled them together. But I had so much fun. It was great.
Fuck yeah! Once in a lifetime event right there. That's life changing.
Yeah.
So, Ramon, how about your first concert?
Oh, so my first actual concert, I think it was 2005. It was Corn at the American Bank Center. Me and my buddy, actually, I had no idea who Corn was at the time. I was like in 5th grade. And he was like, there's this concert. I want to see them, blah, blah, blah. So we mowed like 3 yards. We mowed 3 yards to get the money for the tickets. And still didn't have enough, but our parents helped us out. And it was Corn at the American Bank Center. They were headlining. Flyleaf was on that tour. Bury Your Dead, Darren Gray, if I said that right, and some J-Rock bands. But yeah, that was my first official show.
Did that happen to be like one of the family value tours?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I was young. That was my first time ever hearing them or to any concert. So I was just in awe about everything. But man,
it probably was.
It was like 2005, I believe, or 2005 or 6, one of those two. But I know it was definitely them around that time.
I missed that one, man. I wanted to go to that because I remember Flyleaf being a part of that
So,
mix.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah,
That's a lineup.
Fucking cool.
Crazy.
Well, tell me about you, Noah. What was your first concert?
My first concert, I'd say show.
Cool.
There was this going back to church. I was that, there's the meme going around like, hey mom, there's a show, and like you can't go. Like, it's a church, mom. So that's how I wound up going. There's this church in Temple, Texas called Bethel Church.
Yeah.
And this band called Astoria Arms was playing. I don't remember who was with them, but I remember that vividly being like my first like official show.
Yeah.
And I was either 12 or 14. I want to say I was 14, and it was sleeting that night. And then my mom like pulled me from the car. Like, there's ice on the road. We gotta go home. I'm like, all right, fine, mom. Let's go home. Yanked me from the crowd.
Were they hard? Was that band hard?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's what I love about, I don't go to church anymore, but I feel like I have my own good, strong relationship with God. Jesus is my savior. And my mom got me started back in the day. I went to catechism, confirmation, all that good stuff. Me and my wife got married in the church. I want to go to fucking heaven. I want to go, and I'm going to keep doing good. So that way he might just give me some blessings. And I love that about your band, man. I love that, the Instagram, the Christ Core, man. I'm like I said, I'm late to the game, man. But man, it touches a soft spot in me because not very many bands come out there and show that side of their faith and do it so fucking well and hard without any compromise, without just it sounds so fucking good. And let me ask you, did that originate coming from you, Noah, with your background?
So, there was a question you wanted to ask us about how did the band GratitudeTx formulate?
Yeah.
And, I'll go ahead and spearhead that answer too.
Let's do that. Okay.
So the way GratitudeTx started, there was a ministry in town at St. John's UMC called Thy Kingdom Come. And it was a running heavy metal church service that we had going on. And,
yeah.
Was it 2018? A buddy of mine named Adam had asked me if I wanted to do vocals, and did vocals for Thy Kingdom Come. And this other guy named Steven and Jesse had written some music, and they were playing with us at the time. And they're like, hey, man, you want to write some lyrics for this music? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And we played around at like another band church in San Antonio called Rise Above, and we'd done a couple of originals. And it sort of snowballed from there, man. And spawned GratitudeTx. That was the short and sweet origin story.
Did it start out as GratitudeTx, or was it a different name?
Yeah. I mean, you could say like the band name started as GratitudeTx.
Oh, tight. And so, how did Ramon get into the mix?
So Ramon got.
Either way. So, like I said, Thy Kingdom Come was going on. They're starting back up. They had started again. And so the bass player at the time, Adam Matthews, this is how I came. I'm playing bass. I'm not in any bands. I'm playing bass for a church. And he's like, yo, would you like to play lead guitar for TKC? And I'm like, I play bass, but I want to jam. Let's do it. And so I joined them. And like I said, there was another guitar player, Steven. The Gratitude had kind of already started. That I joined TKC, not Gratitude. and it just all became, I just all mixed in because they're doing gratitude practice at TKC practice, and I kind of like just joined. They never really asked me to, hey, do you want to be in gratitude? And I was just like, yeah, you know. I kind of just, it was just kind of sad once I started playing the guitar for the church. Pretty much. But like gratitude started, and then I came in kind of like right after this started. So I'm kind of from the origin story, say. I consider me an OG. So much as happens.
So you mentioned Matthews. Was that Harley Matthews?
His brother, younger brother.
Younger brother.
Love Harley though. He's a good guy.
Okay, because I noticed you got Harley Matthews as giving him some credit for, I think it's a Believer. Is that right?
It's
Nation of Hope.
Oh, it's on the other one, Nation of Hope, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So he's coming on with some vocals with you on that, Noah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, cool. Okay, I wanted to ask about Matthews because I saw him come up on the lyric credit. Okay, so you jumped in on guitar. You had Matthews on bass, and is Matthews on the? Is he on the Believer video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Oh, tight, man. I really like the Believer video going off at Boozers, dude. That's fucking tight.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a blessing, man, because that was our very last time playing at that particular Boozers location. So
Yeah.
it's cool to get to document that.
Very cool. I know what you mean. It's gone, man. I miss that location, dude. I like it. It was so centralized and
Man,
you haven't seen it? It's all like
it's me. But I'll tell you what, I'll take Boozers no matter fucking what, because whether it's there or the old place or even the place they started off on Horn, nobody really makes it happen like Tommy and his wife Jessica and the team over there. So much props to Boozers, and I hope they always keep the fucking Boozers fucking club going here in town, because it always provides a place for all of our bands to go rock.
Oh, yeah.
There's never, no one's never not allowed. It's like, yeah, man, fucking put a show together, man. Tommy's super cool, and we'll always facilitate, and just one of the best.
Shout out to Abel.
Abel, I'm sound. That's right. Shout out to Abel. That's right. Hell yeah. He puts up with a lot of us, man. Especially some of these shows where there'd be like, 6 or more bands. Holy shit, that's a lot of work on his part, but he puts the grind in.
What always gets me, man, is like you'll get some guy in there with like a 14-piece kit, and somehow Abel just makes his magic happen, man. Every time I look at that, I'm just like, man, bless your heart, Abel.
That's a perfect scenario too. It's like, oh shit, but he makes it happen, man. That's tight.
Yes.
Very tight. Oh, okay. Yeah. So getting back to that right there. Before I get too much further, is it fair to say that Noah, you're writing all the lyrics and maybe Ramon's doing all the music?
Man, yeah, that's how it goes.
So I will give credit where credit's due. So our first EP, Low Road, they have the songs pretty much written when I joined for that. But I was a guitar player on the studio tracks, and I did add. There were some parts that I added to, some little leads, and I added to them. But as far as the voices and then going from everything from the second EP, that's me, and Steven helped a little bit, but it was and then he's all lyrics right here.
But yeah, to what we're piggyback on Ramon for Low Road, a lot of that was Steven and Jesse.
Yeah. And
then moving forward from Low Road, most of it was Ramon, and then I was just doing lyrics.
Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Well, on Low Road, dude, that release right there is it goes fucking hard, dude, and I love it. And one track I really love especially is the Merton 23. Where did that name come from, and what inspired you to arrange that song, man? Because that's my favorite one right there, because I had to show my wife, because I really love the way you sing the chorus. I love it. So tell me about that. What's Merton 23?
Merton 23 actually didn't have much to do with me. Actually, I only wrote the chorus on that one. But what I will say is, the origin story of Merton 23. So what that song has to do with is a combination of Psalm 23 and then Thomas Merton. And Adam actually wrote I'd say 85% of the lyrics to that. So what he did is he combined Psalm 23 and one of Thomas Merton's prayers, and he put them into one.
Yeah.
You hear elements of Psalm 23
at
the beginning of the song, then you hear me coming with a chorus, and then you you continue to hear like, you know, the Thomas Merton prayer. And that's those were the elements that were put together to create Merton 23. Now, what the song's about, you know, it's about, you know, following the path of the Lord, you know, wherever he tells you to go, you know, hit it up and you know, be about it. You know, whether it's
right. You're not alone. He's always with us right there. Absolutely. Yes. That's powerful, man. I don't hear enough of that, especially with the fucking hard edge like that. That's what was so fulfilling to me, man. It made me like, fuck, these guys are fucking bad. I love it. You know, my wife listens to a lot of K-Love, and sometimes I'll hear some, you know, there used to be a time like on Sunday, maybe Sunday nights, where they'd have some heavy shit on there, and I would just like, wow, that's fucking heavy. And so she's taking me to go see Toby Mac. She's taking me to see No Mercy. And those bands, they're not heavy whatsoever, but singing and the way they're making it happen, man, it feels good in my heart, man. It feels so fucking good. So I can just imagine how good it feels for you, Noah, and you, Linda, and Ramon, to be able to jam and have that as, you know, be able to sing those lyrics and be able to put that music out like that with that. Yeah, not really a message, or maybe it is a message, but it just feels so fucking good. And you do it also fucking well. I'm really a big fan. I love it. Let me keep going. So now moving on to the next album, I really like the singles that you dropped right before that. You had Last Words and you had Barabbas. What, am I pronouncing that right? And what does that title mean?
Barabbas. So I wrote Barabbas around the thought that, you know, a lot of people, they'll write stories about different books of the Bible, in the sense where like Matty Montgomery would write different songs on his albums about like people that did good in the Bible. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not that good. So I'm going to write this song about one of the bad guys in the Bible. Because for me, I more see myself depicted as Barabbas than I do Jesus in that story, because Barabbas did a bunch of bad stuff and he deserved to get nailed to the cross, and the crowd chose him over Jesus to be set free. And so in that sense, it's this literal sense of, you know, Jesus taking the literal hit instead of Barabbas.
Yeah.
And I try to make that statement very clear in the song, where it's like, hey, that's me. I'm Barabbas. I'm no better than Barabbas. That's basically the equivalent. Like, I'm putting myself on that level. And, you know, then you go on into the song, we go into the story of, you know, everyone's saying, you know, crucified Jesus, nailed to the cross. Yeah. So that's how we end the song off, and everyone's like, yeah.
Wow, man. Wow. I love it, Noah. I love it. That's real. That's so fucking, that's awesome, man. I want to listen to it after we get off of this, where I can connect to it even more. So let me tell you this, with Deathless Voices, dude, it just bangs from top to bottom, man. I just let it roll, dude. It fucking sounds great. And what I really like is, who did the bass tracks on that one right at the beginning on Believer?
Well,
that's
a touchy subject.
That's a touchy subject.
But if we're just being honest, I'm just telling the truth. The bass track to the intro to Believer was me playing the bass.
Okay.
Just because it's on a weird counting, and so you had to be off time to be on time. And
got it. Yes.
Our at the time just stayed on time. Not a bad thing, but he just couldn't be off time, which needed to be anyways. So I recorded the intro to that. As soon as the intro was over, I passed the bass back to him. Like, here, I'm not doing the song. I just wanted to help him out with that part.
Very cool. Hey, yeah, that's one thing I like about hardcore, when the bass comes in, man. Oh, hell yeah. That just gets you set up. You know, once the rest of the band comes in, it's going to come hard, which it does, man. So Believer is a fucking banger. And I love the video too. Who shot that video for you over there at Boozers?
So that's Ruben Rojas Jr. He's in the band. He's a guitar player.
I'm like, hi, man.
Oh, he's a guitar player.
All right.
Beyond Reach. He plays guitar for those guys, and he has a his own photography page called Look Alive Collective. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, Ruben Ross. Yeah, he shot that, edited, all that good stuff.
I missed the band he plays for. Who does Ruben play for?
Guitar for Beyond Reach.
Beyond Reach. Okay, cool.
I think great artwork.
Well, when I was going through your YouTube channel and checking out the videos, of course, I came across a video for The Surface, man. That's a banger. But what I really liked about it is the hook, man. You're really coming strong on that one, Noah. That's I don't hear very many singers around here that were able to put it together so well as you did on that song right there, man. Great fucking time. And Ramon, did you write the guitar riff for it?
It was
a three-way venture on
Okay.
product. So I came up with the chords. He came up with like the rhythm, and then our rhythm got refined by our producer Chris at Tonal Recordings. Because we had the riff set up one way, and then Chris is like, let's do this instead. And we're not gonna argue with our man.
Oh
yeah.
So it took on 3 stages of refining.
He nailed it, man. That's the thing, being an artist and having a producer in there and getting the 2 cents. It's very priceless, man, because when we're writing the songs and in the rehearsal studio and pre-production, we hear it our way, and we get, our ears get accustomed to it, and we like it. It sounds great. But then you get some fresh ears, and it kind of takes you in a different direction and really just like opens your eyes to another part where that song could go. And if you just open up to that kind of idea, ends up being a hit. So what's Chris's last name?
Marshall.
Chris Marshall.
Chris Hunter Marshall.
Oh, Chris Marshall. Hey, he's awesome, man. I've done a couple of recordings over at Tonal when he had the trailer over there in Rockport.
Oh, yeah.
Where do y'all record with him now?
We drive up to Haslett. It's by Fort Worth. Okay.
Hey, it's worth the try. And he's always got good people recording and his touch right there in the mixing and engineering. Man, Chris, I haven't worked with Chris in probably about 6-7 years. No wonder that recording sounds so fucking banging. He's great. He's fucking great. Man, that's awesome. So let me ask you this. What streets did y'all shut down for Believer? And no, let me take that back for the Surface.
So the Surface was shot. That was actually Noah's idea. It was shot on the bayfront, on the seawall. Pretty much that road's already closed down. The one that they bypassed. It's the parking lot, street, then the seawall.
Yeah.
And so we just set up right there and went for it.
In the middle of the road.
They didn't pick us up. They didn't. So.
Everybody was convinced that, oh no, I'm like, let's just do this and let's make this happen.
I work with the city, so I was just thinking like, they're gonna see me, they're gonna see my truck, and they're gonna give me.
You thought you're gonna fucking give you some shit at work, right?
We already know, but it was actually went really smooth. When we finished, that's when cops were kicking everybody out for curfew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, tight. And so in hindsight, you also were blocking the street during the Believer video too, right?
No, there was.
Believer was all boozers.
Oh no, there. Okay, so in the beginning of Believer, there is like a sky. I don't know. I think was it a drone? There was something. There's a different shot from a different show in there.
We got a shot from Harlan.
Yes, but it's outside, so that's not what you might think of. You can see. I think you can see the street in the background or something like that. But
maybe that's what threw me off a little bit. But you know what? I love seeing your action on stage, Noah. You going over the vocals for the Surface while you're singing it, man. It's just like you're on stage right there in the street, really throwing it down. Your fucking heart is right there. Sounding fucking great. Sounds fucking amazing, dude. I love it. I wish I could sing like that. I'm still trying. I got the heavy part down, and I'm working on the cleans, and I do plenty of fucking covers where I do a lot of cleans, but it's not as easy to carry over the cleans into your own music. And sometimes I get caught because I do 30 fucking bands. Who the fuck am I? After singing 30 fucking bands and then going to a rehearsal with my band War Cult, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to start singing these lyrics, but sometimes I got to get myself into that War Cult mindset because there's too many fucking sounds and voices that I've been able to mimic that sometimes I lose track of my very own. So that just goes to show I've been doing too much covers and not enough original music. But I'm working on that. I'm working on that. So let me ask you about this. You had the Holy Haunted tour going out not too long ago. Maybe, would you say it started maybe 3 weeks ago, or was it maybe a month?
About 2 weeks ago.
A few weeks. Okay, cool, man. And South Carolina was on the hit list. New York. Where else did y'all go?
So we kind of called the Holy Haunted thing like kind of our fall run. It wasn't really like an official
okay.
tour. So some of that Holy Haunted, included Corpus. I think.
Yeah.
Was it McAllen on that?
No, it was pretty much just October shows.
Just October shows? Okay.
So yeah, we started off in South Carolina, Charleston, and we played a bunch of cool bands, like some of the original members from Zayo. They had a new band, or it's an old band that they started again. What's the name of it?
Symphony of Imperial.
Yeah.
Symphony of Imperial. Okay, cool, man. Zayo kicks ass. Old school.
And then we shot up to Holbrook, New York, Long Island, and we played at some cool little dive bar.
Rams Club.
Yeah, some like
Rams Club, yeah.
They're very, very proud to be American there. So flags everywhere. Good time. We met some good friends there. It was like 2 hours into New York, so
Long Island.
Yeah, it's really cool. Nice out there.
Man, I've seen some great pics of you guys being able to do some sightseeing over there.
My girlfriend, Jay Garcia, AZM Photography. Shout out to AZM Photography. She went with us and documented just all the parts, the shows, the sightseeing. We got tons of photos out of that, and that was a big blessing for us.
Hell yes, man, that's very cool. And so, that's your better half, Noah?
Yes.
Very cool to have that incorporation right there, dude. I tell you, if I could get my wife to buy in more than just selling the stuff on the merch table, holy shit, I can only imagine where we could go. But but anyway, she's got a full-time position. I wish that I had that going as well. But you know what? That's her, and I just I'm happy for you to be able to have that connection right there. And when I was digging into your Facebook earlier, I see another friend of ours, Mark. Did he roadie for you guys?
Mark, what are you doing here?
Yeah, we had Mark come along as a crew member. Security, driver, road crew, merch crew.
We love Mark.
So tour manager. We just had him. We had him be all of the things that fill in empty spots, basically, where we had little gaps.
Yeah, very cool, man. Was there anything on the road that you guys did to keep yourself occupied?
Slept a lot.
There you go. Hey, that's cool. All right. There's plenty of time, right? Hell yeah, we got time to kill. Let's have some fun. The reason I mentioned that is because I was talking to a band called Count Your Dead last week, and they had just made a trip up to Las Vegas. And, I mentioned to them, what do they do on the road to kind of keep themselves busy? And I don't get out of town very often, but when I do, I like to do this. It's called the band name game, where, say, for instance, I started off with, say, the band is Testament. And then say it's Linda's turn. She's got to come up with a band name that starts with the last letter of the band that I came up with. So she's got to come up with T, and it could be, you could close it into like just metal, or you can open it up to hard rock and metal, or just any band you want. Then you can go to albums, but something to think about to kill some time on the road, because eventually you start getting to these names that you're like, what the fuck, man? Where am I going to go with that one? Shit. And then you start, you have a name that ends up like, I'm trying to think of something that ends with a Y. Testasy, for instance, a local band back in the day, but you're like, why? Yes, okay, well, you use this band, and then you start saying, well, shit, well, can I use Yngwie Malmsteen? And then you start cutting, you're like, okay, we'll give you Yngwie, all right, because he's got a solo band. But anyway, just something to think about next time you're on the road. The band name game, try that out. It's pretty fun.
All right.
So let me get back to this. I noticed, like you said, you recorded over at Tonal, and Chris hooked you up over there. And so when you finish that studio session, well, right now, if I remember correctly, you've got a little break right now for the holidays, and you're fixing to go into the studio. Do you already have the material finished to go in there and wrap things up, lay it down?
It'd be a lot cooler if we did, right?
But I mean, the way we write is very different. But back to Barabbas, we were only going to record the last words, but Chris hit us up. Was like, hey, I'll give you a deal on a song if you do a second song. So Barabbas was pre-written, but then with an old member, then we scrapped it, used some. We got to rewrite the whole thing in 2 days. And it's our most streamed song. And so it's kind of like we have the material, it's just kind of in pieces and piecing it together.
Cool.
So,
yeah, we have parts. We just gotta, like I said, glue them together. We gotta get the little musician glue, and
which we're doing after this interview.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, all right, fuck yeah. Well, I tell you what, let's move on to some things a little bit personal. Do you guys collect anything? You know, I collect a bunch of stuff, as you can see in my background, all kinds of flyers and posters and stuff. Linda, is there anything you like to be a collector of?
You know, I convinced myself, I tell myself I'm not a collector and I don't like knickknacks. I'm a minimalist. But truthfully, I have a really solid sticker collection going on. So I go to shows and I get all the stickers, and I'm probably going to put them on my bass amp. So that's, I guess you could say that's my collection of people's stickers.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of fucking stickers, but I've never committed to put them on anything because I just, you know, I got a guitar case. I put a few, but I haven't wanted to put, you know, some of my prize ones that I've held on to like for 20 years. I'm like, you know what? I haven't used them yet. Let's let them be. Hell yeah. Well, and how about you, Ramon? What do you collect?
I was actually thinking, I mean, I don't have anything in particular, but I do realize I have a lot of, like, from local bands to bigger bands, a lot of band tees that I don't wear, but I just have it for the memories. And then, so, I mean, some don't fit anymore, but I have, like, shirts dating back to, like, the early 2000s when I started on the shows up until our most recent tour. And, like, something I don't wear, and I realized I have, like this big corner of my closet of shirts. And each one of them's a different memory for me. So, I mean, I kind of collect shirts. And, you know,
I would say,
all damage.
Same.
There, you know, concert shirts with the tour dates on the back, man. I always search for that. The tour dates. I want the tour dates. That way, you know, I've been there. I got the fucking shirt. Hell yeah. And that's what drives it. I go to, you know, I've taken my wife to go see Shania Twain last month. And she bought a shirt that didn't have no fucking tour dates in the back. And there was a couple that had the dates, but she didn't like the style. And I was like, this shirt's like $50. Get the tour dates. And she couldn't do it. Oh, it's terrible. But anyway, you know, concert shirts are fucking crazy nowadays. You know, $50, $45 at some of these big name shows. And that's why I always love the underground shows, because they keep it real. $20. Sometimes you get $10, $15. And even if you actually go up to the guy selling the shirt, he'll work a deal with you. If their shirts are 20, you say, man, I think I only got 16, 17. Give me what you got. You know, they'll work with you over there at those other shows. Fuck no. And they want you, and they want a tip. They want a tip also. Yeah. They're selling your shirt and they want a fucking tip on it. Like, oh man, I feel like I'm giving it away already. Well, no, how about yourself? What do you like to collect?
I have a combination of probably, I guess, 3 things you could say I hoard. I have a modest vinyl collection. It's nothing like super crazy, maybe like 20 vinyls.
Cool.
Another thing that I collect is signed drum heads. I have a drum head from Norman Jean. I have a drum head from Gideon, and then there's this other band called the Speak of Wolves. I have a signed symbol from them. And then the third thing I guess you could say I collect is packing materials, because I'm always like, man, we're going to blow up and I'm going to need to ship a bunch of things out. So I'm going to need to like pack things. So in my garage, I have this obnoxious cardboard collection.
Oh man, I can dig it, Noah, because over here in my house, weekend before last, we made a trip to the dump, and it wasn't a comfortable afternoon for me because my wife's asking me, what are you using this for? Hey, just in case.
Yeah.
I needed one of these days, and sure enough, just the other day, I needed some shit that we threw away, and part of it was a bunch of vinyl. When I order vinyl from like Amazon and stuff through the mail, they always come in the nice cardboard and stuff protected. So I've got maybe about 10 of those that I've been saving just in case. And I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but maybe I'll sell them or something. I keep thinking that one day I'm going to do like put up my vinyls for sale, like maybe make an eBay a store or something like that. So I want to kind of keep those available to ship them out. But I'm the same way, man. I'm a hoarder. So I like that you brought that up, the 3 things that I hoard, because definitely that's kind of what it ends up becoming. As you collect more, becomes something that you hoard. And like your t-shirts, Ramon, I've got 3 boxes outside that at least got maybe 60 t-shirts that they still fit me, but it's not the same way. Shit, I got bit by a dog. I got bit during COVID by a pit bull while I was out running, and I got 14 stitches. And for the next 2 months, I was sitting on my ass. I wasn't able to do shit because it happened like right behind my calf. And so I couldn't really stretch out my leg. So all I did was sit around and eat, and so I haven't been able to. Let me change the subject. Anyway, I'm a hoarder too. So moving on, let's talk about movies, man. I'm a big movie fan. I like action. I love fucking Sylvester Stallone and the oldies like Bruce Willis and all those fuckers. Jason Statham. I love the Expendables, but I love horror too. So it being Halloween, I just saw that movie Smile the other day, and that was pretty cool. And I saw another movie called Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was all right, I guess. But what I did like is that it had that guy Matthew Lillard, who came out in fucking Scream. Yeah, and he also did the 13 Ghosts, and 13 Ghosts, that's a good one. But let me talk about movies. Linda, what kind of movies you like?
Action. I don't really watch TV. I don't really watch movies, but if I do, it's action or war movies like Braveheart, Gladiator, 300, stuff like that.
Fuck yeah, those are big ones. Holy shit, those are big ones. Ramon, what do you like to watch?
So I have a 6-year-old who loves to watch movies with me. So we like watching like all the superhero movies, Marvel, DC, you name it. We love that. But me, when he goes to sleep, I like to watch horror. I just saw the new Saw, which I really enjoyed. And me and my son watched the Five Nights at Freddy, and he absolutely loved it. I played the game, but the movie as a movie, he loved it, so I liked it too. So it was pretty cool.
Very cool. All right. Yeah, I haven't seen you talked about Saw, and it's a remake of the original?
No, it's like a prequel. Like another story that led up to it.
Okay, kick ass. I love the Saw movie. That's a great fucking concept.
Great story.
Hell yeah. Noah, what movies do you like to watch?
I like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Like from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures to like Constantine to the John Wick movies.
Matrix.
And Matrix. Yeah.
Very cool. Hell yeah. And of course, John Wick. I'm waiting, and this kind of a merge right here for Ramon as well, because you like the Marvel. I'm waiting for John Wick to find his place in the Marvel world.
Or Constantine in the DC universe.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. More Constantine. Yeah, that would be great. I think he could go on both, work both angles, which makes me think, is there a character that has done DC and Marvel? Is there an actor?
Chris
Pratt?
No, did he? The dude, he was Batman, and he was just the Vulture, Spider-Man. Michael Keaton. That's
You're right. You got it.
Wait, what about Chris Evans? Wasn't he like Green Lantern or something?
No, that was Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, there you go.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he was Green Lantern, DC, and now Deadpool's Marvel. Very good. Very good, guys. All right. Yeah, I can't wait for, I've been watching the Loki. Loki's fucking cool. Keeping up with that. And Marvel's comes out this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing that probably Saturday. And I'm waiting for the next Joker. Joker 2 should be coming out 2024.
Oh, yes.
So much great shit. And when I'm on Facebook, I come across these. I think they're fan made because they're too good to be true. Like Avengers: Secret Wars, and it's got fucking Tony Stark up there in the corner in a silver costume and a silver Iron Man suit with his face showing. And I was like, hey, I seen that fucking outfit. is he coming back and maybe from a different multiverse or something? And I sure hope he is, man, because I fucking, you know, it was a bitch seeing Tony Stark die, you know, at that snap of the finger. Oh, that was such a great movie. But I fucking love Endgame, love all those Marvel movies, but definitely when it comes to the Matrix, Keanu Reeves has a very special spot in the big blockbuster, because I think the Matrix was just definitely ahead of its time in very many ways, but it just the work he put in to learn all those fucking martial arts is the shit, and that's what led him to be ready for John Wick and all that good shit he did. And I don't know if it's so true, but I want to believe it. Whenever I see great things about him on Facebook and stuff, Instagram, it seems like Keanu's probably one of the best guys you could ever fucking meet. So shout out to Keanu Reeves. I like that, Noah. I tell you what, let's
marry me.
What was that?
I said, marry me.
Yeah. I dig it. Hell yeah. Well, you know, another one that I like about that I'm thinking about when it comes to Keanu Reeves, Speed. You know, that was a great one when he did that one. You know, and I can kind of see Keanu and what's her name hooking up. And I remember seeing an interview that back in the day when they were filming that movie, Sandra Bullock, she had a crush on him, but he wasn't that, he never made a move or he never did anything. So it never progressed from anything. And now here they are, you know, 25 years later, and she's already tied up. I think she's married to the biker guy. Has his own biking show. I can't think of his name, but anyway, let's move on. Move on from Noah. When I say Noah, from Neo and from Constantine. Let's move on to another dream channel. Let's go to dream festivals. So when it comes to dream festivals, you don't have to always play in it. Sometimes you just want to be there. You know what I mean? But playing it as being musicians, I can definitely understand. So whether you want to be in it or whether you just want to be there to see it. Linda, what would be your dream festival?
Oh man, I would want to see, for real, I would want to see early Metallica with Cliff Burton, like for sure. I think I would want to see old school. You know what? No, I take it back. If I could, any timeline, right? No limits. Okay.
Sure.
Old school Metallica with Cliff Burton. Definitely want to see Buckethead. Like, that dude's so rad. The way he slaps bass with his long freaky fingers, I love it. Who else would I want to see? Daft Punk. They're not around anymore. I wish they were. I would want to see Daft Punk. And I think to end it all out, oh man, it's so tough because there's so many good ones. I would want to see Deftones again. Like,
hey, okay. Yeah. That's a hard one. Not too many people go hard with Deftones because not everybody digs Chino's voice. You know what I mean?
But it's like baby metal before baby metal. It's like cool indie, like mellow metal, but it's good. I haven't listened to anything past that though, so I might be a little biased. I might be missing out. But yeah, I think I would do that because there's just so many to pick from though.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-day festival, if I'm being honest. just watch everyone.
Well, how about yours, Ramon? What do you think your dream festival would be?
Well, I think of two festivals that aren't around anymore that I would have loved to play and been a part of. Of course, Warped Tour. Just to experience it one time on the tour, that would have been great. But another tour that I used to love that I saw when they came here, it was the Taste of Chaos tour. I think it was 2008, and it was Avenged Sevenfold was headlining, Bullet for My Valentine, Bless the Fall, some J-Rock bands. And so those are two tours that I just remember growing up, like made me want to be like, I want to tour. I want to go and do this every night. And so just those two tours in particular. But also Ozfest. I love it. I never got to see one of those. My cousin went a couple times and always throws it in my face. And love that dude. But as far as bands, it's kind of something I'd love to see. Metallica, Cliff. That's crazy. Rob does a great job though.
Yeah.
But Green Day. That's one off my list. I haven't seen either. Green Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
good ones right there, man. I caught Green Day here. They played here on the Nimrod tour. And what was special about that show was that night, and I don't know, maybe he does it in every city, but Billy Armstrong brought a kid up on stage that said he could play basket case. And that kid fucking kicked ass.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought to myself, I said, shit, if that wasn't staged, that kid should be in a fucking band like by tomorrow afternoon, because he kicks ass up there on stage. And mentioning about Metallica, you know, I caught Metallica on Ride the Lightning tour. I seen him with Cliff twice. I caught him with Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
So when I saw him on Ride the Lightning, it was at the Ritz, and they were opening up for Wasp, and it was fucking bad as fuck. Hell yeah, they came out opening up with Fight Fire with Fire, and then Ride the Lightning. Oh shit, man! Of course they did Whiplash. They did Anesthesia. Oh, it was fucking the shit. If only I could go back and you know, if you know, back then we had VHS, and there's some video footage of those early years, but not too much. But if you got Cliff them all, you probably got everything that you can get as far as the old stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, Noah, what's your dream show? What's your dream fest?
Well, they got to say 3, so I guess I'll say 3. So, I mean, if we're talking about like time travel here,
Sure.
I want to like take like 3 like hardcore bands like us and 2 others and go back to Woodstock and just really drive hardcore from the late 1960s and just get that ball rolling.
Hell yeah.
Like everyone's all like tripping, and then we just see like bink, 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 and they're like, "What is this?" That would be the first thing. The second thing that would be cool to see, I saw videos in like the late 90s of like the festivals that Rage Against the Machines did. It'd be wild to be part of one of those.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
then as far as like, you know, going back to my younger days, it would have been rad to have been a part of the Scream the Prayer tour.
Yeah.
To have actually like gone and done that every night. It was a thing that they did. I think it was like 2, 3, 4 years in a row, and then it just went.
Damn.
That was a fun one.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What's coming up next year for you guys? I know we got some studio time getting ready to be in the works, but have you already maybe made some plans to get out of state again?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Where are you going this time?
We're actually gonna revisit a lot of places that we went in 2023 and 2022. What's confirmed so far is Jacksonville, Florida. We're gonna go back there. We're gonna go back to Denver, and then we have a new one that we've never been to before, Oklahoma City. We have. It's crazy to say this. You know, we've been doing this for more than 4 years now, and I guess you could say we finally have a following, so to speak. And a lot of our guys are telling us there's this festival called Kingdom Come Fest. I think it's in like Indiana or something like that. And we've gotten at least 3 or 4 hits about going up there, and they're like, these people are like, oh, we know this person, know that person. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll, you know, talk to some people and see what's up. Things that we want to do. We'd like to go to the West Coast. We're kind of gonna let this studio time ride, and then after that, we're gonna see what's up with the West Coast. We have some connections that connect us over there, and then doing a couple Cali shows, and then coming home.
Man, that sounds great. That sounds really good. You know, you mentioned the Kingdom Come Fest, and I think I've heard about that because I've got a friend named Miggy Sanchez that sings for a band called Relent out of San Antonio. And I think they did the show this year. They went up there and played the Kingdom Come Fest and said a lot of good things about it. And they're another hard band that follows the word of God and puts it out there and goes hard. They're more like a new metal. Have you heard these guys before, Relent?
We actually played with them. There was this other fest in Springfield, Missouri called Chains Unchained Fest, and we were on the same bill.
Very fucking cool. You belong with each other. I mean, definitely the sounds are different, but the vibe is there. The message is there. Fucking Christ core, man. I love it. Fucking hard. I love it. Linda, how long you been with the band already?
Oh, I joined in June. I mean, these guys called me on a Monday morning. You want to be in a music video? I'm half asleep. I'm like, there's prettier girls out there. And I was like, are you really saying no? And I'm like, let me wake up. So I'm praying. I'm like, Jesus, what is this damn wrong with me? And the Lord's like, to play bass. So I'm like, really? So I called him. I'm like, do you want me to play or just like show up in the video? And he's like, play. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So I think that was like the second or third week of June. So I have not been with the guys very long, not at all.
It's been a roller coaster ride, huh? Everything's been just boom, happening real quick, right?
Yeah, but you know, my life is chaos. I don't have a middle name, but if I did, it would be chaos. So it's fitting. It works.
Wow, man. Noah, do you have any kids?
He's talking to you, dude.
I'll take that as a no.
I got a band.
He has us. We're the kids.
Band. Here it says GratitudeTx. No, I don't have any biological children.
And Ramon, kids?
I have a little boy. He is 6 years old, and a baby girl, and she's about to be 2.
Oh my God, a 6 and a 2. It's not easy hitting the road, man. Right, Dad?
It isn't. It really isn't.
It's a hell of a sacrifice for Ramon. But I tell you what, when I see your smile when you're playing guitar in the videos, man, I know there's no other place you'd rather be but up on stage, doing your thing. That's awesome.
Sure.
And it takes that family support, dude. I've been with my wife for 33 years, man. 33 years. And when she met me, I was in a band, and I've been in a band ever since. And without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. She makes it possible for me to feel good about what I do, give me support, and keep me encouraged, because a lot of the times, as you guys know, and being in a band, there's a lot of ups and downs, and sometimes the expectations you have of yourself aren't always reciprocated from the other band members, and so it can be heartbreaking. Rehearsal gets canceled here, or show gets canceled there, and the commitment to a band is something that is that brotherly bond and brotherly and sisterly bond in this case right here is something that it becomes a business after a while, and you really gotta look at it like that, like, hey, that's my job, and it's not a matter of me wanting to do this or wanting to do that. It kind of goes to the territory with what we do to keep developing and making us what we need to be and what we want to be, and having that spousal support is tremendous. So you're blessed, Ramon. You make sure you take care of them now that you got this break, and enjoy it while you can, because before you know it, you'll be back on the road. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And good thing we have FaceTime. Do you have an iPhone? Can you do FaceTime?
Oh yes, of course. Every break I have, every minute I got FaceTime.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's what it really matters. It really matters when you're away and you're family guy, to be able to connect like that. Well, let me hit you up with some questions, and I hope I can make some of these kind of challenging for you. We're gonna move to a segment that I call Draw the Line, and I do this with all my interviewees, and I'm just gonna kind of pick your brain and give you a couple of bands to let me know who you prefer out of the two, or out of the musicians, for instance, that I throw at y'all. So I'm going to go at each of y'all. Let me start at the beginning, and I'll start with you, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you prefer out of As I Lay Dying or Norma Jean?
Oh, dang. I said what I said, As I Lay Dying.
All right. Hey, Tim, the presence of Tim fucking Lambesis up there on vocals, dude. Holy shit. Let me ask you this. Between me and you, Noah, you ever want to get big like Tim?
Norma Jean.
No, he's talking about.
I know what you're asking. I said Norma Jean.
All right. Okay, we got you for Norma Jean, but
the thing about getting jacked is like, it's a lot of maintenance. It's I'm already committed to a lot of time at my job.
Okay.
And the time that I don't have my job, I'm sleeping. And if I'm not sleeping, I'm with these guys. And if I'm not with these guys, I'm with my lady. And so, adding in the fourth element of more physique than I'm already keeping up with, it's a big commitment.
I get it, man. I just had to throw that out there because Tim's just such a fucking, oh my God, he's a fucking presence, man. Oh shit. And I see most of his videos or like reels of him just in the gym getting fired up. No, man. So, and I met Tim a couple of times. And when we did the Sounds of the Underground tour back in 2005, I met the whole band hanging out with them after the show. And, but the one that I really connected with was Nick Hippa, their guitar player. Nick was super fucking cool. Watched Killamora do our sound check and said, "Hey man, you guys sounded badass. I'm gonna watch you guys when y'all get ready to play." And sure enough, he was there side stage checking us out. And then when they came later on to play at the House of Rock, they saw me in the crowd, dude. They said, "Tony," and they called me. I was like, "These guys remember me? Fuck!" So I got to give those guys, Tim, Nick, big props. As I Lay Dying, one of my favorite bands from that era. But Norma Jean's a fucking beast as well. So let me know what you think, Ramon. What do you think? Is it Norma Jean or As I Lay Dying for you?
Oh, he is a Norma Jean.
There it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. I mean, I've heard both bands. I wouldn't say I listen to them regularly, but I love the metalcore, As I Lay Dying, but then I love Norma Jean's very like hardcore. I don't know what you'd call it. It's not hardcore, just
noisecore.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best way I can put it. I like elements from both, but if I had if I had a jam with one of them, I think I'm going As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Very cool.
We know who knows, big.
Hold on.
He's grabbing something to show you.
Hold on.
That's cool. Let's go back to the next question. So I'm gonna start back at Linda. I know how Noah already called in Norma Jean, so we know where he stands.
Okay.
So these next two bands are definitely bands that put their faith on their sleeve. So, but they're from different genres. So let me know what you think about and maybe you haven't heard of one of these because I'm taking it kind of back, but they're probably one of the most well-known metal bands to bring Christ into their mix. And I'm talking about Striper, LA's band Striper. And the other band I'm putting them against is 90s band Creed. So are you more Striper or would you prefer Creed, Linda?
I said what I said, Striper. I'm a hair metal glam chick. Like deep down inside, I'm still this party girl. Striper.
Cool. All right. Ramon, how about them two bands? Which one do you like?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Creed. I mean, I love Christian metal for Striper.
Yeah.
I love jam. I'm sorry. I love I can hear from another band.
Mark Tremonti and the guys, man. Creed, they rock. Definitely.
Hey, they just have a tour next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. The Summer of '99 tour. I've been trying to win some tickets on a 92.7, but
So no, Creed all day.
Cool. What do you think, Noah? Who do you prefer, Creed or Striper?
We have to move it 10 and 2. I guess I'll go Creed.
Yeah, Creed. You know what? I was surprised too, and I'm sure you guys have done many gigs with the guys from Woomrot, but those guys are hardcore Creed fans.
I believe it. I love
That was funny when we discovered that during the interview. I was like, "Wow, I didn't see that one coming." That was definitely from the left field right there. But Scott Stamp's back with the band, Summer of '99. They've got 3 Doors Down opening up. I'm going to try and get some tickets. But it's funny. I told my wife, we were in the car yesterday, and they were talking about the tickets. And I said, "Hey, honey, so you're going to be wanting to go see Creed next year?" She's like, "No." And I said, "Why not?" She goes, "Well, they don't have the same singer. Is it like a tribute band?" I said, "No, Scott's back in the band." She's like, "Nah." It's like, "Oh shit." I'm still down, so she'll go with me. We'll make the best of it. So let's move to the next one. Okay, Linda, who do you like out of Miss May I versus The Devil Wears Prada?
Oh, dang. Okay. Oh, that's tough. Hold on, let me think for a second. I think Devil Wears Prada. Is that what I said?
The devil does it. All right. The devil made me do it. All right. Ramon, what do you think?
That's a tough one for me too, because I love Miss May I's first album, Apologies for the Week, but I love The Devil Wears Prada more. So the early stuff, the new stuff's okay, but I still mess with it. So, and I don't mess with Miss May I really anymore. But so The Devil Wears Prada.
Killer. How about you, Noah?
The Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada. You know, have you caught him live over here at the Pavilion?
I did. I with Beartooth and who else was on that? Silverstein and Era. That show was awesome.
I missed that one, dude. I wanted to go see Beartooth so bad. I love Beartooth. But I think when I caught them, it was Devil Wears Prada. And I may be wrong, but it might be when Killswitch Engage came, but they called it Phil Switch because either Howard Jones was sick, so they had Phil Labonte from All That Remains come in there and do the Killswitch lineup. And what I liked about Devil Wears Prada, they had some great production, so it had the badass lights going on. But the singer, man, he really gets into the music, man, and I really dig that. You see his heart and soul when he's out there fucking laying out those vocals. So love those guys. Devil Wears Prada, you know, I'm gonna probably lean towards them too. But there's some great guitar playing, man, and Miss May I. They got some hooks. They got some big hooks. So let's take it to New York. I'm gonna go to some New York hardcore bands. Who do you like out of these two, Linda? Agnostic Front or Sick of It All?
I'm going to be honest, I have not heard of either of those.
You know what? And I'm not surprised because when we were sharing with you earlier your background, I didn't, right as I'm talking to these, getting ready to throw these names out to you, I'm thinking, shit, her background's more like the more old school metal with Metallica and that kind of mix. But this right here, this step really takes you back to the early 80s, Agnostic Front and Sick of It All. So not really familiar with those two?
No.
Okay.
But if I had to pick strictly off of band name, right? Not Agnostic Front, the other one.
Sick of It All.
There we go, Sick of It All.
That's the last name. Absolutely. Ramon, what do you think out of them two? You familiar with them?
Just because I found out about these bands way later in life, obviously from back then. But they were the first band. I don't know if they were coming through here. Someone was telling me about a show, and I'm like, who is this? And I can't tell you the song. I don't jam them regularly, but he turned it up. And I'm like, okay, I can mess with this. I don't know if they were coming to Corpus. It was San Antonio. It was at least a couple years ago, as of recent. Or was it?
Didn't they come to Corpus this summer?
Yeah, I think they both came together, Agnostic Front and Sick of It All at the House of Rock.
That might be the show, the tour package I was thinking of.
I saw them.
That was how I was introduced to them. Someone was like, hey, check this out.
Noah, how about yourself? What do you think of these guys? Agnostic Front, Sick of It All.
Don't ask me to name 3 songs. But I do remember having a very good time at the Agnostic Front show.
Oh, fuck yeah. You know, taking it back, Agnostic Front, first time I got to see Agnostic was in San Antonio at the Showcase. And it was a crazy package because they actually were on tour with Cannibal Corpse. And it was a hell of a mixture. So it's Cannibal, Agnostic Front, and 2 other bands. But those 2 bands really stuck out because those were a couple of my favorite bands right at the time. And I was already just kind of freshly out of my hardcore band Fracture Minority and starting to get into the death metal band Malignancy. So having those 2 bands together was fucking awesome. But Sick of It All, I got to catch Sick of It All over here on DRI's Thrash Zone tour. There's a place called Auto Nation that's there off of the access road between Castoris and Ayers. And there used to be a venue there called the Stardust Ballroom. And fuck yeah, we used to have badass Sick of It All, Cro-Mags, DRI, Megadeth played there on the Peace Sales tour, Nuclear Assault. Great fucking venue, but it's funny because now it's like that's where Auto Nation's at, and it's just been cleared. But yeah, man, Sick of It All fucking kicking ass, and they're still alive and kicking that ass. And I was at that show last year, and it was brutal. It was fucking brutal. But I think Sick of It All has a little bit of the edge because they just the Cowler brothers, Pete and Mark, they're a fucking hard act to beat. They're a fucking hard act to beat. Well, I got 2 more for you. So, Linda, tell me what you think. Who do you prefer, Hatebreed or Upon a Burning Body?
Oh, that one's tough too. I think I'm gonna go with Upon a Burning Body. That's what I said.
All right. They're coming.
You were on. He's just like,
well, man. It's like because I want to say like the elements of music, but they both have similar elements in different ways. And but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Upon and Burning Body on this one just because they're from 210 and they're real close. Seen them a couple times already, and I really liked the fourth album. The new stuff's great, but the fourth album really like spoke to me.
Killer. The fourth one, that's not Southern Hostility, right?
No, it's straight from the barrio. That's it.
Yeah. That's it. Killer. Noah, what do you think out of them two bands? Who's your favorite?
It's funny because at the beginning of this, you had mentioned that I sound like Hatebreed, and I guess for that regard, they're cool. But I'm gonna have to side with these guys here and say Upon a Burning Body because I jam them way more than I jam Hatebreed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, when it comes to Upon a Burning Body, those guys, in my opinion, I see them as being infamous. Whenever they fucking play, they sell out. The fucking crowd goes ape shit. And what I really love is that most of us, and really, I don't know all the lyrics, but I know a few of pretty big, strong lines. But when I'm at that show, it seems like fucking 80% of the crowd knows fucking word for word.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love when the band fucking is connecting and the crowd is there. And it's just, you can't get a better show when the crowd knows your music that fucking well, where he just puts out the mic right there to, you know, hey, finish these lyrics off and the crowd's like, yeah. And to see our friends out there, you know, in Corpus fucking throwing down like that and loving it, man. It's just, it's really a moment that Upon a Burning Body can only bring. And so they're fucking badass. I'm looking forward to their run they're going to be doing in December.
Oh,
and they'll be at the House of Rock. Yeah, and I'm sure I'm going to see you guys there, that one, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I know the fucking Bills already got like maybe Life Cycles and maybe two other bands. Maybe even Darkness Divided is on there too. But man, all you got to do sometimes is just ask Casey. It's as easy as that. You guys would go great on the tour. Just saying. Casey Lane, you know, I've had him on the show, and the way he puts it, it's very simple. He's got the House of Rock, and the House of Rock needs bands, and the bands need the House of Rock. All you got to do is just reach out. If the possibility's there, it's as easy as, sure, bro. You know, he makes it happen, man. So, something to consider. Just something to consider. That'd be a great show to be on.
Yeah.
So I got one more for you. And this kind of takes me into a little different, takes us on to a little different spot, because lately this band, I think it was just yesterday, and it's kind of out of our genre. It's not the hardcore that we've been referring to as on the rest of this Draw the Line, but it's kind of top of mind right now. And I'm talking about Slipknot parting ways with Jay Weinberg. And, you know, Jay's been with Slipknot for a good 10 years, wrote a few good albums with them already. And Joey also started the band. And it's hard to compare the start to the new guy. But if you were to compare them, because fucking Jay's a badass drummer. And if to be able to play Joey's stuff, you got to be kick-ass, or else you wouldn't even have the fucking opportunity. So let me ask you this real quick. I know neither of y'all are drummers, but from what your ear has shown you from Slipknot, Joey Jordison, and Jay, who do you prefer, Linda? Joey or Jay?
Joey.
Ramon, what do you think?
I don't have to think about it. Oh, man, Joey Jordison. I was him for Halloween. He was one of my favorite drummers when I started drumming. He's like, he did the fastest double bass, and I'm sitting there like trying to be wearing his mask, trying to be like Joey. When I was younger. And so Joey, R.I.P. Love that guy.
Yeah. Noah, where do you go on this one?
Adon.
You're both wrong. It was Adon.
Joey.
All right. Hey, you know what I like about that? Because I kind of wanted to incorporate that too, because I seen Adon's post, man. And don't we want him to fucking be the guy? That would be so great. That would be so fucking great, dude. Oh my God, man. You know, I've had the pleasure of jamming with Adon in my Christmas band and at Headbangers Pit for, you know, Christmas band already going on 4 years. Headbangers Pit, we jammed for, it seemed like 3 to 4 years. And no better drummer in town to fucking have in your band. No better guy to have in your crew than Adon right there, man. He's got such a good heart, man. I love that guy. And knowing that he's a part of you guys, I know that just, I don't have to know you guys as well as I do already, but for him to want to be associated and do all this touring with you guys, not only shows that the quality of how he feels that your musicianship is, because Don's been around. He's been around. He's been doing this. He's a veteran. He's a fucking big time veteran, and you guys have got a few years under your belt. But he's been around already, fucking around the nation doing this shit more than I ever seen, and he doesn't play with anybody unless they fucking got their shit together. And you guys are hard act. You're fucking hard act. So it doesn't surprise me one bit that he is the drummer for you guys, man, because it sounds killer. You guys make a great mixture together. And if it wasn't for, I'm looking forward to hearing some Linda on the next recording. You know what I mean? And I don't think if it's a little something off timing and stuff, she ain't gonna let you do it, Ramon. I think she's gonna nail it regardless.
Sure.
I love playing Descent. Like, if I could re-record a song with these guys, I would want to re-record Descent, because it's like you could hear what they're missing, what they were lacking, and I'm like, man, you guys really need this. And if we could just, throw in a couple triplets and slap here a little bit, perfect. But yeah, I'm excited too.
Yes.
We're about to have a fun studio session.
She's gonna sing too.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do the for you.
Yeah. We're gonna do all
powerful. Because you're singing already, Ramon, right? You're singing.
Yeah, I picked up some of the singing parts, and on the surface, I do some vocal parts that Noah allowed me to do. I mean, he doesn't mind, but it was pretty cool.
And then Ramon actually, during the bridge, he was kind of looking at me like, "Hey, man, what do you think we should do for the leads on the bridge?" And I'm like, "Hey, we like guitar, man." I was like, "Shh."
He got to play guitar on the track, and I got to do vocals on the track, so
yeah,
it's pretty cool for the service.
Very cool, man. Oh man, I can't wait to see where 2024 is going to be taking you guys. You guys are grinders. Keep it up. Keep enjoying making the music, man. You guys are creating some awesome music, and I love that it's done with the love of Christ behind it as well. Whether it's singing about it, I know the heart's there, and it really. It comes out, man, in Noah singing, and in the way you guys really present yourself on stage. And I haven't had the honor of being able to see you guys live. I think you got a couple more shows before the year's up, right? Tell me what those dates are and where they're going to be at.
December 7th at Rich's. I think Skylar Drive's doing a 15-year anniversary. And the funny thing, I always like to make mention of them because they're from where I'm from. I'm not actually from Corpus Christi. I'm from a place called Killeen, Texas. And the guys that are going to be direct support, the Bunny the Bear, and then Everyone Dies in Utah. The funny story about Everyone Dies in Utah, I went to school with the original bass player of Everyone Dies in Utah.
That's cool.
And he did the original vocals. And you can't find that music on Spotify anymore because they're all like, we're just going to put this a little low. But the OG recordings of Everyone Dies in Utah, you can find on YouTube from like 07, 08, 09. And I went to high school with their bass player. So it was kind of a cool thing. And I feel like there was like this moment in time where I could have been in that band.
Yeah.
But it kind of didn't work out. It's cool to see them come down and us get to share the stage together, and it's always a treat for me because I'll throw this story out there just because it's a fun story for me. So cool. Back in 09, I was my graduating year of high school, and Everyone Dies in Utah. We threw a show for our prom. We called it Prom Corps. It was the first prom corps. There was not a prom corps before us, promise. Everyone Dies in Utah played 2 shows that night. They played a show in Bethel Church and Temple, and then they came to Killeen and they played a second show for prom corps, and they headlined that thing, and I'll never forget that.
That is fucking badass. Hell yeah! Somebody had to start it, right? Why not you? Prom corps. Fuck yeah! So that was in 08, you said?
09.
09. Oh shit! The years go by pretty quick.
They do.
Son of a gun, golly! But that's awesome. It's like you said, they're coming back. They still got the band going. That's gonna be a great show. A second show? Is there another one right before you're in?
Yes, we're playing December 15th in McAllen, Texas at Zion El Rey. Might have said that wrong. I heard it's an old school venue. We're playing with a bunch of different bands. I can't tell you all their names. I know Riceman's on the bill, and a couple of bands from there, but that is on Friday, the day after the Palm Burning Body show. And yeah, and that's it for 2023 for us.
Man, that sounds good, man. Cine Del Rey, I think that's probably one of the best venues down there.
Oh,
And it's like a center theater, a somewhat great stage, and you can really pack them in there. That's going to be a cool place to play. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show tonight, man. I really enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better, and just really, I wanted to just give you guys praise and give you guys props and encourage you to keep this fucking hardcore band going, man, because you guys got a great thing. You got a lot of great talent. I think that Noah's really coming into his own and really just getting to become taking his vocals to the next level. And the songwriting, I can't wait to hear what's going to be coming up on the next recording. I think Linda's going to be able to add her magic to it. And with you guys probably switching off on guitar and vocal parts, maybe sometime around this, on this one, keeping it fun and just, doing whatever the recording needs, Yeah. And Adon being on there on the fucking drums. Holy shit. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well, let our listeners know how they can keep up with you. Give me your address on Instagram and Facebook, or if there's any other social media they can keep up with you on.
So for TikTok and Instagram, it's the same handle, GratitudeTx Christcore.
Yeah.
And then for Facebook, it's GratitudeTx Band. You can find us on Spotify, GratitudeTx, Apple Music, YouTube. Just a little sprinkle. We do have a new single coming out either in December or right at the new year. So be on the lookout for that. And it's definitely heavy.
It's aggressive.
9 days.
Yeah.
That's cool. And I'm glad you mentioned that. It's aggressive because what you did on the surface took you to a different level right there. And it's not the same. It ain't the same Believer. You know what I mean? So I was wondering was it going to be a change in this new album to have more music kind of like the surface? Or is it just a little taste of whatever, just what y'all decided to put out right there with that jam?
So we made a song called Unfit Unsecure on Deathless Voices. And it's something where Ramon was like, hey, man, let's do something different. And for me, and like the dynamics of gratitude, I've always been one to let's take a shift this way, let's take a shift that way, let's do something different. You mentioned Merton 23 where we did Being as an Ocean better than Being as an Ocean. Ooh, I said that. But anyways, yeah, we liked using different elements of different genres, and it's something to where we're not sitting in a box.
Yes.
So we definitely like shifting around dynamics. And so with the surface, it's sort of like a reprise of Unfit Unsecure, if you will. And so with that being that element, we're going to continue with our aggression moving forward with the rest of the EP.
Sounds amazing, dude. Hell yeah. I can't wait. Whatever it is, I know it's going to be fucking great because the heart is put into the music from you and from Ramon and from Linda and Adon. I can't wait to hear this new mix with this lineup right here. So guys, let me let you go. I think you got rehearsal coming up. Is that right?
Something like that.
We're
gonna finish
like that. Okay. I know we kind of went a little long. My wife asked me, she goes, how long is the podcast going to be? I said, you know what? The more people from the band that show up, the longer it could be. So if it's 3 or if it's 4, it could be over an hour. So I appreciate your patience, man. I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for spending it with me this evening and turning on my listeners to what GratitudeTx is about and just letting them get to know you a little bit better. So Linda, thanks a lot for being on the show. Ramon, thanks for being on the show. Noah, thank you for being here. We miss Adon, so big props and shout out to Adon, who's out grinding right now at Riches.
His shoes are here.
Make sure you guys out there try and catch him over at Riches on December 7th, he said. And then coming up December 15th, and that's going to be down in the valley at Cine Del Rey. So make sure you look up for GratitudeTx on their YouTube channel. Give them a like and subscribe to their channel. And give them a rating, too, on their Spotify. All right? Give them some love. You won't fucking be disappointed. All right? Check out Believer. Check out No Shame. Check out one more other one. I got it written down because I want to make sure I got it right. Oh shit. It's the other one with Matthew Nashing.
That's your vote.
Yes, dude. I mean, I love the way he's putting those first two on right there. Like, god damn, hell yeah. And then Murkon comes on and like, oh shit. Oh hell yeah. And it just, the music's great. So listeners, check out more Gratitude TX. Once again, guys, thanks for being on the show. Everybody keep grinding. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next time at the show.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right, I'm just ending it.